Hi, this is Rebecca with the Sustainable Sanitation Solution. On today's tutorial, we will teach you how to finish our waterproofer. The waterproofer is an essential component for our waterproof washable pads. To finish the waterproofer, we'll begin by sewing a single line of stitching across both ends. We'll start with the end that's already sewn. We want a nice narrow seam, so I'm going to move my needle all the way to the right and move the fabric so that the needle is pretty much right at the edge. I'm going to start by back stitching. And then I'll forward stitch to the end and then back stitch to finish. Because I've overstitched, I'll cut the threads nice and short. I'll do the same thing on the open end. Now that both ends have been top stitched, we're ready to form the pockets for our waterproof washable pad. The next thing to do is determine the finished length. If you're making this for yourself, you can decide how long you want it. If you're making these for an organization, you'll need to ask the director of the organization how long they want their finished waterproofers. We're going to make this one 12 inches long. You'll fold in both ends to the top of the fabric. The top of the fabric, or the top of the waterproofer, should be the fabric that will hide staining best. This fabric will do an excellent job hiding staining, so we'll fold in the pockets this way. With a finished length of 12 inches, we need to fold these in just a smidge more. You'll be able to feel the ends of the PUL inside the fabric. It's great if the PUL folds up inside the pocket. That'll be a great way to protect clothing when this is in use. You can pin or clip to hold your pocket in place. I'll now measure 12 inches from this end and pull this pocket in just enough to make the finished 12 inches. Keep straight edges together so that we don't have awkward overlap. Beginning at one end of the waterproofer, we'll now do the final top stitching. You may want to make your stitch length a little bit longer to accommodate the extra thicknesses of fabric. Beginning on one long side, place your presser foot so that you can stitch with your needle about 1/16 of an inch from the edge of the fabric. This will be our first line of top stitching, and it will follow the outermost edge of the waterproofer. You don't have to overstitch at this point. Make sure your far pocket is ready to go. I might slide mine over just a tiny bit. Make sure that you've caught all the layers in your stitching. Stop at the far corner with your needle in and pivot the fabric. Sew across the end of the pocket. To get through these extra thicknesses of fabric, you may want to make your stitch length a little bit longer. Now you're going to meet back up with your initial line of stitching. Go ahead and overstitch, then raise your needle and move your fabric back over so that you can stitch one more line. In this case, we're going to go straight down to catch the PUL that's in between the two layers of cotton. Here's the edge of my PUL. My stitch line is going to go right through it and form one big rectangle. When you get to pocket edges, overstitch. Meet back up with your first line of stitching at the pocket end so that we keep these pockets nice and deep. We're almost back to the beginning. And we've overstitched with our initial line of stitching to secure everything. Please note the overstitched lines at pocket edges. This is crucial for making these waterproofers last as long as possible. Cut your threads close, and now we'll show you how to apply the snap and finish the waterproofer. Our waterproofer is now sewn. All we need to do is add snaps on the wings. The easiest way to do this is to flip your waterproofer over and overlap the wings as if they already have snaps on and you're ready to snap them around a pair of underwear. Take your awl, decide how much you want your waterproofer to pull around the underwear, and poke the awl through both wings. Try to center it as best you can. Your awl should come through both wings, but try not to puncture the pad itself. Once you've made your hole, you'll place one backing of your snap on the back of the fabric, and you'll place one backing on the top fabric, like so. Place complementary snap pairs, and then use your tool to affix them. You can also use sew-on snaps to finish this project. For cam style snaps, you line up the tool and squeeze. And then snap them to make sure you've affixed them properly. Now your waterproof washable pad waterproofer is complete. All you need is the absorbent layer, the flannel, and you'll be ready to go.